top stories, France expresses desire to scale up cooperations with Ethiopia in various areas. And Iran and Saudi Arabia agreed to restore relations. Hello and thank you for joining us. You're watching Addis News Hour with the news. I'm Tabitha John. Stay with us. Ethiopia, says Innovation and Technology State Minister Huria Ali, has passed the experiences it obtained during the Internet Governance Forum 2022 to the upcoming host, Japan. The first IGF 2023 Open Consultations and MAG Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Group meeting took place at the IGF premises in Vienna in a hybrid mode. Addressing the consultation, Ali explained about the activities that Ethiopia had undertaken to make the event successful and also shed light on the experiences the country gained from the international event. The meeting focused on discussing IGF 2023 strategic objectives, planning the intersessional work, and the program of the 18th annual IGF meeting hosted in Kyoto, Japan. Many smallholder farmers in Africa are engaged in low-profit agriculture without knowledge and access to the market trends on input materials as well as output products. Sasakawa SSA is working with JICA on the Smallholder Horticulture Empowerment and Promotion (SHEP) to promote market-oriented agriculture by improving farmers' access to markets. Director of Agriculture and Horticulture Extension with the Ministry of Agriculture, Yenenesh Ejigu, said in an exclusive interview with EBC that the SAA has been engaged in a variety of initiatives for more lucrative agriculture for Ethiopian farmers. Listen to this.
In the last years, Sasakawa has been making efforts with reference to the wheat and maize productivity to thoroughly capacity development trainings, demonstration to stringent follow-ups and support for our farmers throughout Ethiopia.
The SAA Ethiopia director underscored that the association is crucial to the agriculture sector in order to further mitigate climate change, essential in order to adjust the nutrition system, and pivotal in order to make farm products more market-oriented.
At
the moment, Sasakawa is supporting the growth of Ethiopia's wheat irrigation cluster with a goal of focusing on air sustainability or profitability. Additionally, it aids in a farmer's acquisition of excessive income by providing equipment, establishing market connections for their goods, and enhancing farmers' success to post-harvest processing services like threshing and milling, while also lowering post-harvest loss.
Ethiopia has embraced the One Health approach to respond to the existing and emerging threats, according to Fayisa Regasa with the Ethiopian Public Health Institute, EPHI. Also chair of the National One Health Steering Committee, Regasa said several developments have been made to pioneer One Health schemes in Ethiopia, which includes establishment of the National One Health Steering Committee and technical working groups. He underscored that with the threats that are facing the country, the implementation of One Health approach is mandatory. He added that the government, along with stakeholders, is working to fully implement the One Health approach in a multi-sectoral coordination platform. He was speaking at a panel discussion under the theme Effective One Health Implementation in Ethiopia, Challenges, Opportunities and Way Ahead, organized by Addis Ababa by the Belgian Embassy. In his welcoming remarks, Stefan Thies, Belgian ambassador to Ethiopia and Djibouti, permanent representative to the African Union, IGAD and UNECA, said that health issues become a huge concern in relation to the change of climate, population and the entire ecosystem. The French government remains keen to elevate its long-standing diplomatic relations with Ethiopia, moving from assistance to investment. This is according to French ambassador to Ethiopia, Remy Magasho. Ambassador Magasho underscored that efforts in the areas of education, archaeology and heritage, literature, architecture and cinema are instrumental to scale up the relations to newer heights. Shagao Yamato takes it from here. Take a look.
The closing ceremony of a year-long celebration of the 125th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Ethiopia and France was held at the French Embassy in Addis Ababa on Friday. Efforts depicting Ethio-France cooperation among others in the areas of education, archaeology and heritage, literature, architecture, cinema were on display to mark the 125th anniversary. In an exclusive interview with the Ethiopian news agency, Ambassador Remy Maru said it is very important to have high-level exchange between Ethiopia and France to define the priorities of future projects, citing the recently visits by a French delegation in January to Ethiopia and Prime Minister Abiy's visits to France, meeting with President Emmanuel Macron.
We can build on 125 years of friendship, of respect and mutual trust. So this is a very solid foundation to expand the relation, and that's what we intend to do now that the peace is consolidating in Ethiopia. So we'll be able to attract new investors in areas which are of common interest. So that's mainly agriculture, energy and logistics.
Regarding the current situation, the ambassador stated that the evolution of the situation in Ethiopia is very encouraging, citing the implementation of the November 2, 2022 peace agreement.
Our first priority is to support the implementation of the peace agreement. So I had meeting with the Rehabilitation Commission. I also attended the meeting on transitional justice. So that's two key elements of the peace agreement in which we're ready to support.
According to the ambassador, it's important to create the environment together with the Ethiopian government, mentioning there will be more French companies to come and invest in the field of agriculture, energy and logistics. Some 1,700 French companies are based in Africa. French President Emmanuel Macron visited 18 African countries so far, his trip to Ethiopia in 2019 being one of them.
State Minister for Foreign Affairs Misganu Arega met on Friday with Italy's ambassador to Ethiopia, Agostino Peles, and the two discussed bilateral relations between the two countries. Ambassador Arega appreciated the long-standing diplomatic relationship and development cooperation between Ethiopia and Italy. He also applauded the support of the ambassador during the difficult times Ethiopia faced and for organizing the recent high-level visit that was led by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to Italy. Both sides noted that it is high time to deepen the economic cooperation between the two countries by increasing the volume of imports and exports, strengthening manufacturing capacity, and facilitating knowledge transfer.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and WorldRemit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
The Chevening Scholarships, which are funded by the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office and affiliated organizations, are given to those with good academic credentials and a track record of leadership. The scholarship provides complete financial assistance for both master's and undergraduate degree studies at any UK university that is eligible, as well as access to a variety of premium educational, professional and cultural opportunities. Darren Welch, the British ambassador to Ethiopia and permanent representative to the African Union, stated that in addition to providing scholarship opportunities, his government is strongly dedicated to strengthening its partnerships with the Ethiopian education sector. Kasaun Chane has compiled the following story. Take a look.
So Chevening is a one-year master's scholarship, fully funded. So we'll pay for your sort of flights to go to the UK, for the course, for accommodation there, and a stipend while you're there as well, so that you can live and eat. There's a really wide variety of master's courses that you can apply for, and all of that detail is sort of available on UK university websites and on the Chevening website as well. So I'd really encourage you to go and look and find out more. Just to say that, Chevening is a really prestigious scholarship. Currently, I think there are 17 presidents, prime ministers, or vice presidents who have done Chevening, including Deputy Prime Minister, His Excellency, Mr. Demeka Mekonnen. It's a really prestigious scholarship. We want a really wide range of applicants, and in particular this year, we want more applications from women. So if you're not sure, please just apply. We really want to hear from you.
The Chevening Scholarship, it's a fully funded program. We get to have support in terms of tuition payment and also accommodation. So it's fully funded, it's fully covered. We don't have to worry about anything in terms of finance. And also we have academic support. We have coordinators. We have support people from the Chevening FCDO in London. I was in London. And we had lots of events for us to get to be with other people, to get to network and communicate, So it was a very holistic program, not only in terms of finance, but it also in terms of our well-being and also, how you live as part of the society. as part of the British society and also as part of the global society that we have in London.
I studied global public health. I studied in Newcastle University, which is a 3-hour train ride from London, I think. So we stayed there for about a year, and I even stayed 4 months after my course was finished. So my experiences both in Newcastle and London was amazing. I had the opportunity to network with people from lots of different backgrounds. I had the opportunity to live outside of Ethiopia for a year, which is a great experience on its own. And I've also had the opportunity to learn in a very good university and get my master's. I think it's very great. I think a lot of people actually would like this opportunity, but there's usually not a lot of opportunities around us that is actually fully funded, would support. It's usually when it's sometimes they fund your education, but maybe not your accommodation. So it's really very difficult for a lot of students to do that. But I think Chevening does both, so it gives you the experience to actually broaden your horizon, get the education you need, which is actually a career advancement on its own as well. So I think I strongly recommend it, and it's actually a very good experience. Yeah.
We have a wide range of support for the Ethiopian education system. I met with the education minister just last week, and we had a very positive discussion about the support we've been providing, but also about the challenges ahead. There are challenges in the Ethiopian education system, and we are currently designing a new phase of support. We've been looking at how we can strengthen the systems and how we can help make the system even more inclusive, particularly reaching students who have disabilities and who otherwise might find it hard to access education and to fulfill their potential. So we have supported the education system in Ethiopia for many years, and I'm confident that we will continue to do so for many years to come. But I would say inform yourself about the opportunities. It's a fabulous scheme. I particularly want to see more applicants from brilliant women. Yesterday was International Women's Day. I had the opportunity to go and see some amazing women working in a maternity hospital on the outskirts of Addis Ababa. I really would like to see more applications from women so we can support them too in their career aspirations. But get informed and apply is my advice.
Ethiopian Airlines, the leading airliner in Africa, has announced that it will resume direct services to Singapore on 25th March 2023. The flight will be operated 4 times a week with the ultra-modern B787 Dreamliner. Regarding the restarting of the flights, Ethiopian Group CEO Masfin Daso said the Star Alliance member is delighted to continue its service to Singapore, which was suspended in March 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. The flight would further expand our network in Asia and create air connectivity for passengers traveling between Africa and Singapore. Mr. Lim Ching Kiat, CAG's Managing Director of Air Hub Development, said China is thrilled to welcome Ethiopian Airlines to Changi Airport again. Singapore's Changi Airport is one of the major global aviation hubs with the latest airport infrastructure and one of the best hub transfer services. Singapore is also one of the major financial hubs in the world. The African Development Bank Group urged African countries to boost intra-regional trade relations so as to stimulate the continent's economy. While talking to the Ethiopian News Agency, President of the African Development Bank Group, Akinwumi Adesina, underlined that African countries should work aggressively to reduce economic vulnerability shock at the international arena. We have more on that. Take a look.
The intra-regional trade among African countries only accounts less than 20%. It's against this background that President of African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, urged African nations to maximize regional trade relations and reduce the vulnerability of international economic shock.
Intra-regional trade in Africa is very, very small. It's only about 15 to 18%. If you compare that to Europe, you have about almost 69% of intra-regional trade. You look at the whole issue of Latin America, maybe about another 59%. In Asia, maybe about almost 41%. So we need to actually boost intra-regional trade. And the more you boost intra-regional trade, the more you reduce your vulnerability and vulnerabilities to global shocks that happens, geopolitical tensions that affect global supply chains and things like that. So it's very, very important.
Recently, 54 African countries have adopted the African Continental Free Trade Area to foster economic integration. To boost the intra-African trade, the President highlighted African Development Bank invested more to accelerate African Continental Free Trade Area over the past couple of years in Africa.
You're looking at an Africa Continental Free Trade Area that will link together economies worth about $3.4 trillion. It is the largest free trade zone in the world in terms of number of countries that are participating. So for us at the African Development Bank, integrating Africa is one of our high five priorities of the bank. And we've been doing this for a long time, even before the Africa Continental Free Trade Area was established. And so for us, we've invested in the last 7 years alone well over $44 billion in infrastructure, in ports, in rail, in airports, in digital infrastructure, in making sure that you have means in which people can actually move, mobility and for trade and services. So we've been doing that quite a lot.
Despite geopolitical risk in the international arena, Africa has registered average economic growth by 4%, which is the highest economic growth, Adesina underlined. Adesina said the African Development Bank is expected 5 of the 10 fastest economic growth registering countries in the world to be African.
In a way, Africa is growing, and it's, one of the principles in swimming is if you can keep your head above water, it's always good. So Africa's head is well above water in a world where you have geopolitical risk, disruptions of supply chains and rising debt levels and depreciation of many currencies and so on. So Africa is doing quite well. In fact, 50 of the 52 countries in Africa that we looked at have posted positive growth rates, and we expect that 5 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world will be African countries again, so which is very, very important.
The African Development Bank is tirelessly working to expand its financial and technical supports for African countries to eradicate extreme poverty and backwardness.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Theta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and WorldRemit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Birr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
I just want to tell you guys, Akwaba, Karibu, welcome to Ghana!
My name is Princess Umu Hatia. I am the globe-trotting princess and author. Welcome to my city, Accra. Accra is the capital of Ghana. Now today I'm taking you on a tour to various places in the city. We're currently at the Independence Square in Accra. Now, the Independence Square is the second largest square in the world after Tiananmen Square. Accra has about 4 million people. Accra is a major economic trading hub of Ghana. We're in Makola Market. Makola Market is the second largest market in West Africa. This is where I come to buy all my fabrics, food stuff. It's a busy, bustly place. It's a lovely place to come. So if you want to get any souvenirs, Makola Market is the place to come. Now, come on with me.
Akwaba, Akwaba, oh sister, I know be your brider. Give me one chance, make I be a fighter, provider.
And finally, Iran and Saudi Arabia have agreed to re-establish diplomatic relations and reopen embassies. It comes after 7 years of heightened tension and confrontation. The historic agreement will see both nations exchanging envoys 7 years after severing relations. Shagao Yamato has the details from Al Jazeera.
This deal heralds a new chapter in the Middle East. Bitter rivals Iran and Saudi Arabia agreed to restore diplomatic ties, all in secret with China's mediation.
We have been here in Beijing for 6 days. I held talks with my Saudi counterpart that led to the agreement to normalize relations. We agreed with Saudi Arabia to open a new page based on the interests of the two countries and on regional security, and to promote stability instead of exacerbating tensions. We hope this will contribute to the establishment of security and development in the region.
The historic agreement will see both nations exchanging envoys 7 years after severing relations. China's role revived a process that brought together officials from both countries in Iraq and Oman during 2021 and 2022.
The agreement basically focuses on the respecting the international law. The agreement also talks about the Vienna Treaty with regard to the diplomat and political diplomatic facilities, so that is also important. It talks about respect of the sovereignty of the state, which is very important. If we take all of this in account, and it says it's a new page, so basically what we are saying, we are trying to stop all the escalation, go to de-escalation now, focus on the unilateral relation that bring peace and security to the region here, and that means no intervention on the domestic affairs issues from Iran into Saudi Arabia, which is very important.
While the deal itself could have major implications for regional security, it's also evidence of a wider shift. Saudi Arabia has long prioritized its alliance with the United States. This agreement highlights Beijing's growing influence in the region.
You're watching Addis News Hour. Here's a reminder of the stories making headlines. France expresses desire to scale up cooperations with Ethiopia in various areas. And Iran and Saudi Arabia agree to restore relations. And that's all we had for now. I'm Tabitha John. Many thanks for watching. Have a good night and take care.